Hello and welcome back to the second part of the tutorial for Saelig. Now, this is my character, a Millitant. Now, if you are familiar with the game, you already know how to move around. You should be able to do that with the mouse and keyboard. The scroll wheel lets you zoom in and zoom out. And if you hold in the scroll wheel, you can also turn around, basically the same way. Now, you move your character around by selecting points on the ground. And then you can move him around to wherever you want to do. If you want to set a particular interesting thing, you have to hold mouse in, and then you get a little secondary menu where you can select whatever the hell you want to do. For instance, for the bakehouse, if you want to break in or whatever. Now, this is part 2. We're going to be focusing on the interface, mostly so you can get a little bit of a grip on what is going on. Now, this is your character up here on the left top. That gives you your name, Militant Bum Rash. And right now I'm not doing anything. I'm an idle. I have two buttons next to my own little vision, so my little picture, and you can always refresh. This one here is for replay notifications, so you can see what happened, or you can read again what has occurred. And down here you have the notification settings, and here you can turn off or on any kind of pop-ups that might be showing in your screen, which can be kind of annoying, particularly when a lot of things are happening at the same time. Now, after that, you have your family tree. This here sets up, shows you what your children are, who your parents are, and basically whether you have a spouse or not. All your children that you might have adopted or conceived are listed below. Those could be your heirs or could be anybody, well, basically your children's second in command or whatever. You choose yourself who's your heir. You can always set up another heir if you want to. Your relationships, this is basically who are in the current village, who is single, who is idle, who are the workers, your workers mostly, your lovers, your friends, your enemies, and anybody who you have a relationship with, any kind of relationship, shows up in this little filter. Now, they start out with a relationship of 40, and they go to a negative 20 or negative 30. They can go to negative numbers if they really hate you, and into the positives, 100, 180, that kind of thing, if they love you. Now, there are different gradations, of course. If you have a number between, I think, 60 and 80, then they are your friend. If you have above 80, they are your lovers, and you can marry a lover. You can also have intercourse or sex with anybody that you like, but the chances of that happening is pretty low. And let's select over here, for instance, you have this woman over here. I can accuse her of a crime, and then pretty much everything. That's because I don't really have much of a better relationship with her. Let me just refresh our screen so we can see who she is. Balwita. So the importance of the game, the relationships and so on, is that these buildings, a lot of these buildings don't have an owner. So, for instance, the ale house has somebody who owns it. That person is, in this case, there's no owner. You can probably buy it. But if it had an owner, you can increase your relationship with that, get friends with that person, become their lover or whatever, and that would reduce the price overall for the ale house when you want to purchase it. Now, we have a house. Let me just stay close to my own house. This is not my house. This is my house, I think. I'm not quite sure which one's my house. This is my house. Here we go. Just stay close to the house. I don't want to talk to you, lady. Go away. Okay. Next to that, you have the wiki. You can select that. That brings you to a website where you have more information about the game, and you can read that in your own leisure or own time. Next to that one, you have the health, 100% right now. This can go down depending on sickness, poisoning, or damage from a fight. It doesn't really necessarily go down from food or any kind of sleep or any whatever. So you don't need to worry about that unless, of course, you get into combat situations. Then you can have armor and weapons to protect yourself, or just buy yourself a beautiful bow and strike at them from a distance. Next to that, you have the food meter. This is your stomach content. If it is empty, then that will give you a buff or a debuff, allowing you to basically getting you sicker faster. So you can get ill quite fast that way. Any kind of a bunch of diseases are floating around the village in the game, and you don't want to catch the plague particularly. Next to that is the energy level, same thing as the stomach level, stomach content level. If you are tired or if you are close to tiredness, you will get a debuff showing that you have a bigger chance of getting sick. So you want to try and keep your energy levels up. You can do that, of course, by going to your house and selecting sleep. That way you can regain some Z's. You can also relax, which does the same thing, it's just a little bit slower. And you can also eat in your house. If you have any food in here, you can just stock up a whole bunch of stuff there and then go through that if you at your own time. You can also buy food from the bakehouse, the ale house, or from the market, where if there is any food. So usually there is some food. There's vegetables here, there's meat that you can eat, there's eggs you can eat. You can also forage for food. On the map, if you press tab, you should see a map. You have a fruit patch and you have vegetable patches. You can also go and hunt foxes and deer if you wanted to. I don't think you can eat anything in the graveyard, so we'll just ignore that. If you want, you can also go to the butcher's and get some meat there, although usually that's not really recommended. Oh, look, we got some guy that's talking to me. Well, nice. How is our relationship? Well, he went up to 0.4, so we had a good chat. Quite nice. We have improved our relationship with this dude, Grimbold, by 4 points, which is quite nice. So then you have a bunch of icons here that will pop up depending on your status. If you have a buff or a debuff, that shows here. In this case, Angle boosted learning rate for craftsmanship, tailoring, and farming. So basically, right now at the moment, we could basically learn faster how to craft or how to tailor, particularly how to farm. There's a bunch of sheep here. I'm not quite sure if I can do anything with them. Leave them alone. All right. Then you have the date, 880 before Christ, or AD. You have the number of days, the hours in the day, and you have the number of days left in the season. In this case, 8 days left. If the days are over, then you pass on to the next season, and that's how you go through the years. And if you are speeding through the game pretty fast, you can either have like 1 day left or 2 days, or 30 days, depending on what you set in the settings in the previous episode. Next up, we have the speed. So you can speed up the game, or you can slow the game. You can also pause the game. Basically, you can move to the game at any rate you want. I usually put it at maximum speed because I like to get this done. All these things done. Next to that, you have the money log. So here basically shows you how much money you have. In this case, we have 4,000 silver coins. We also have a little bit of money. The money log showing you what we spent our money on and where the money went for the day. We also see our properties. In this case, I only own a house. I pay land tax on it. It has a value of 2,500 silver. And right now I have to pay 40 silver at the end of the day at 1 a.m. Then we have the markets. We can compare markets. You can compare all the markets in the map. In this case, we have 3 markets. We have Englewold Market, we have Abercombe Market, and we have Atterkop Market. And it allows us to compare the prices of certain goods. Like, for instance, fruit. Fruit in the Abercombe Market is worth 5. So if you want to sell fruit, we can sell it here at 5 silver. And at the Atterkop, we can sell it at 4 silver. And at the Englewold Market, we can sell it for 7. So in this case, we would go, if we had a whole cart full of fruit, we would go to the Englewold Market and sell our fruit there, getting the maximum profit. All right, so right now it's 5 in the afternoon, I think. The sun is still pretty nice and up high. So let's continue. So after your money and the compare markets button, you have the positions of power. Now this is reasonably important. You don't necessarily need to bother with this if you don't want to. So we are currently in the Atterkop village. And if we select the Atterkop village, we can see who the village elders are. In this case, it's Winchell. He gets a special status and special benefits and special perks for being the elder. You get selected to become the elder either by owning the village or becoming very, very well liked by the rest of the village. And they will select you into becoming an elder. You can also select other people to become an elder if you want to. And that's a little event that happens so now and then. Next up, you have the town referee. This person basically just declares outlaws, blah, 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 collects fines. It checks around to see if anybody's doing some really nasty thing. A watchman go around and make sure that everything is safe. If they spot anybody doing a pickpocket or assault or defecating somewhere, they will then warn the town referee that this person had done something, and then you can collect the fines. I don't really like playing the referee. It's not really that very much fun, in my opinion. All right, let's just pause the game. It's getting a little bit dark. Next up, we have the notable families. Now, this is the most important, in my opinion, button that you could have. This view here shows you all the villagers and their families, how many members there are, and how much money they have. Now, it's reasonably important to have, if you want to marry up. You can, of course, marry to anybody you want. It's free to play. You can play any style you want to. If you want to marry down, you can also do that. If you think you find somebody reasonably attractive, then go right ahead and marry that person. But usually you want to select a family that has a member. Like, for instance, the Leacock's family over here has one member and a total score of 11,359, which means the asset score. And they are currently in the... Let me go back to that. They are currently in the Abercombe village. So they are situated there. This is her. This is called Bisgu from the Leacock's family. We have a relationship with her for 40 at the moment, so we're not really that well-liked, or she doesn't know us even. And we want to try and change that value if we wanted to marry her. Now, she would probably have some more assets. You could probably get some more information about her if you want to get into how much assets she has, how much money she actually has. You can select it all here, but you can only see that if you are a friend or if you have a higher relationship status. Next up is the menu. We want to stay out of that if you want to play the game, of course, obviously. Next, then you have the Attercop markets. You have a view of all the markets under each other. You have the Attercop market at the top, you have the Abercombe market, then you have the Englewood market, and then you have the Arwold store post storehouse. Now this place probably has this is a either a moving market or it's a store that has a limit to how long it will last. Most stores, most merchants don't stay all the time in the game. They will eventually move on to the next map or just simply disappear. Next up, we have our own house. This is where we live. This is where we eat. This is where we sleep. Unless, of course, you buy a building like a workshop or a leather worker's hut where you can possibly, what you would call it, sleep in as well. Next to that is the find job. This is the button that you select if you want to go and request a job, so that you can find yourself a job. You can work at this place, at this job, and potentially then earn some money, some cash. It would be if you didn't have any money, for instance, if you have less than 4,000 or less than 2,000, whatever, you have zero money, then of course starting with the job is probably helpful. That way you can make a little bit of money doing some work, and potentially then get to the point where you can actually start buying something. So you want to get as much money as possible, as quickly as possible, so that you can afford something. So that's the game. The game shows you that, tries to make you buy and level up. The higher your status is in assets, the higher you are in the notable families. So our family is somewhere on this list as well. So probably somewhere halfway. We have 2,000 coins, so I'm going to go to 2,000. Let's see, where is it? Oh, so we have 4,000 coin, right? 4,000 silver. So maybe we'll be up somewhere here in this range. Let's see, where is... That's 11,000, 3,400, no, we're not even on this list yet. Bum Rash is somewhere around here. I'm not quite sure. It's a long list. I won't look for it. If you want to get to the top position, you have to start getting some assets, and then potentially also more gold, or more silver at least. There's no gold in this game. Well, there's gold, but it's in the mine. Anyways, after that comes the for sale button. This allows you to see all the land, pretty much the homes and the businesses that are for sale in the region. And we want to, of course, buy as many businesses as we possibly can in the beginning, or get yourself a job, whatever you want to have. If you have, how difficult you start with depends on what you set in the previous settings, or the selection of your status in the game when you start the game itself. Now, you could be a thief and you would have less than 1,000 coin. You could start as a beggar and you have no coin, and you would have to start begging your way, or just simply trying to make your way around by either begging or by working around the field. Now, you can always make money by chopping trees if you have an axe, and we don't have anything. We don't even have an axe. We don't even have a pack. So the first thing you want to do is see if you can get some weapons and some tools. Now you can spend money at the market to buy yourself a weapon or a tool. You can become a watchman, and then with the short sword try and protect the village from raiders and from thieves, potentially also kill people and loot their bodies and the corpses, which will also be available to you if you are a thief or if you're a vagrant. So you have plenty of options, and you can choose what you want to do. There's also the option, of course, of killing your enemies, murdering them. As long as you don't get caught by the watchman, you should be fine. Now, you can get a fine for pretty much everything, so you want to be careful if you are a thief. You don't want to get caught stealing or breaking into a house, because it will cost you. Anyways, that is the interface for the most part. Next up is the more intimate interface. Here you can select yourself. This is me. I am a male. I'm 18 years old. And if I wanted to get married and stuff, I would look for somebody around my age. So the age limit in the game is around 30, 35, 36. After that, people would die of old age. They would just simply get a disease and just pass away quite quickly. So we want to stay away from elderly women, because they simply don't last long enough to have kids, or the kids don't grow up enough, and then you have to find yourself another woman. Of course, that is a perfectly viable option. You can go and marry a rich woman, kill her, or get babies, kill her, and then marry another woman. And that way you could accumulate quite a bit of wealth. It depends on how evil you are and how evil you want to be. So it's pretty free. All right, let's go over the numbers. So the first thing we have is our refresh portrait. This allows us to refresh our the screen and show our face a little bit more recently. This is my face. It's not the best haircut. I have a bit of a bald spot. It's kind of a massive bald spot. Anyways, next to that is the family name, the Bumrash family. We are in Kotsila. That's our status. Sorry, my mistake. That is our king's status. That's our standing with the king, which we don't have. We are our house is Atterkop, and we live here. If you can move to another village, but you have to select the village, a house, or buy a house in that village, and then turn that into your house to be able to move there. And right now, I am just thinking, I guess. Okay, next up, let's select our information screen. Here you can see our name, our family, our class, Kotsetla. Basically, this is the lowest class we have, meaning we can only own 3 buildings. As you gain more money, more assets, and you marry, depending on her status and stuff like that, you can go up in status with the king and get more or ability to buy more assets. And hopefully you'll be able to buy all the assets in the land and therefore own the entire map. Right now we have an assets worth 6,500. So if I was to go to notable families and I was to go down to 6,500 coin, where is it? 6,000. Around here somewhere. This is where we would be. I don't see us though. So, anyways, that is our current asset worth. We are 0% corruption. As you get more, you murder more, and some of the corruption will go up. Same goes for your king standing. The more raiders you kill, the more horrible things you do, it goes down. The more raiders you kill, the better your standing becomes, and the better the rewards will be. The king can give you a higher standing, or your wealth, your assets numbers can give you wealth, get you a higher standing. If we, for instance, accumulate 15,000 silver coins, then we would also go up in value or in class, and be in the king standing, worth more assets, and we could also then buy more things, more buildings mostly. All right, next up is the follow camera. Basically, this allows us to follow the character. It just turns the camera into a follow camera, and then we can move around. I'm stuck. Basically, just moves me to a point in the map where I can move around again. In this case, to the pit. I'll move back to my own home. After that, the customized character. You can set up the character any way you want again, and then once you are done, it would just put you back in the forest somewhere by a bunkhouse or whatever, and we don't want to do that. Next up, we have our storage. We have a persistent stash. Here we can put in items that we want to keep for when we die. This persistent stash also moves on between characters. If you have an heir, all these items will then move to the heir. If you are about to die, I suggest moving your most valuable items into this stash, and that will then move on to the next character, and they don't have to try and get that again. Particularly if you have, like, for instance, a very expensive outfit or a shield or a weapon, you might want to move that into that slot. Next up, we have our pockets. We currently have nothing in our pockets, and we want to keep it that way. I'm not quite sure if I want to keep it that way. I want to get some food. So we have some fruit. There's a fruit patch over here we can harvest. Well, we can't harvest right now because it's unripe. Maybe there's some vegetables around here somewhere. We'll look for that in the next episode, where we try to feed ourselves. After that comes the market compare, basically the same as this button over here. You can compare the market and then go through that. Clear the filter. We don't really want to do that at the moment. Next up, you have your eat. This is when you want to eat something, you have to move it from your pocket to your eat charm bucket. If you buy some charms, you can buy charms by any kind of other market, for instance. They might have some charms right now, actually, as a matter of fact. Yeah, here we go. There's a fishbone charm. If you want to buy that charm, you can then move that charm into this slot, and then the effect that that charm has will be put onto you, and then you can move on. There's a bunch of charms, including some charms that actually make you more potent in the bed. For the rest, you have an outfit. You can make your own outfit, or you can buy an outfit. Most of these outfits come in the form of a cloak, or a hooded leather armor, or a metal armor suit. Next to that, you have a pack. In this case, it's a pack that gives you more storage slots, and you can also store multiple things on top of it. You can stack them. In your pocket, you cannot stack anything. You only put items of one unit, and then in your pack, you can put up to 5. Your weapon slot, this is where you would fight with, or you would do work with. You can put a sword here, or an axe. An axe will allow you to chop trees. A sword will allow you to fight. You can also fight with your axe, but it does less damage. Here you have your shield. There's a number of shields in the game. The best one, of course, is the most expensive one. Right now, you can buy the round shield. You can buy the round shield at the market, and that would allow you to protect yourself a little bit better. Gives you a couple more minutes in a fight to last a little bit longer, depending on your status, of course. The bow, that allows you to hunt. And then you have your actions. You can beg, you can entertain, you can pickpocket, you can waylay, you can proposition, or you can chop wood, set up camp here, and set trap here. So you can set up pretty much anything you want in the game. Next up, we have to go through our information. The general information that we have currently, this shows you how good you are at things. If you are really good at things, like for instance, I am a level 30 at finding eggs, that means I'm pretty fast. Not really fast, but I'm okay at finding eggs. This can go up to a plus 100, even 200 points if you want to, depending on how good you are. The more you do it, collecting eggs and stuff like that, the higher your score will become. Of course, every single time a level comes up, it will become more and more. It will costly to gain another level. Fitness is gained by running, for instance. Reproduce is gained by sleeping with people. Baking, if you want to increase your baking skills, you have to bake wheat or biscuits. If you want to start digging, you basically have to, each new level increases chance of bonus when digging graves. We can, of course, dig some graves. If you want to have that archery, you can do that by actually going hunting or by practicing with the bow. Now and then you would have a training rang. Well, I'm not quite sure if we have any here. Some training dummies. And then you could use that to level up and potentially get a little bit better at, for instance, bow and arrow, or fighting with your melee weapon, your sword or your axe. Of course, you want to see what you want to do. If you are going to be fighting as a watchman, then of course fighting with a sword is kind of important. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with what you have right now. So that's it, pretty much. When you select the market, you want to buy something here, make sure that you are close to it. Let me just move myself into this position over to here. Boop, boop, boop. So run. There we go. So now I am close to the market, it means I can actually trade. So I have my backpack, you can see it up here, that's Millitant. Therefore, I can move things from my pocket to the storage or to the market and sell it, or otherwise I can also buy things. I can, for instance, I want to buy a couple of eggs. I only want to buy one. I can move that directly to my pocket, and once I let go, yep, I have bought some eggs. And that will allow me to actually eat if I wanted to. I can move that into my eat charm, and that then allows my stomach to go up from 50 to 71% full. The better quality food, the more stomach content you get, and that's pretty much it. In the next episode, we'll look into how to forage, how to feed ourselves, and how to buy a business, and what kind of business we should buy in the beginning. Anyways, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.